is going on, Misfit Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt, the Misfit. This is your Stardom 2023 Dream Queendom Review, December the 29th, 2023. It is actually being filmed on this day and will be released on this day because there is no SmackDown tonight, so I don't have to worry about am I going to review SmackDown or not, because I'm not, because it's a best of show. So there's that. We have new champions. Saori Anou finally into the godforsaken reign that was MIRAI. That the unnecessary reign of MIRAI. You know how I've been feeling about that title run. Thank God it's over. And I am a happy camper because Maika finished the story. She is the World of Stardom Champion. She finished the story before Cody Rhodes. She joins the long list of people this year in 2023 that finished the story before Cody Rhodes. Hopefully next Thursday, that not Rossi, the other guy who books his programs, what the hell is his name? Gato. I hope you're listening, watching you. Do the right thing. Naito needs to finish his story. But that's Wrestle Kingdom. I'll leave that there for that. But I am a happy camper. Though what I'm not happy about is the live feed for the pay-per-view cut off midway through the main event of Maika Suzu Suzuki. I'll talk about that and much, much more, including some news about Stardom and WWE, which I'm going to go talk about into this video since it is we're doing a Stardom review, so I might as well talk about the Stardom WWE news and all that other stuff here. Much, much more. Please hit that like button, comment down below, hit the subscribe button, I almost said hit the like button and comment down below, all that stuff. Hit the like button, comment down below, subscribe, youtube.com/@Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Go on to the social medias, Pile Driver Pulse on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram. Follow the audio outlets, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts while it's still around, Stitcher while it's around, Pandora, and what was the other one? Audible. It took me a good second to remember what that was here. So there's that. Let me get through some of that news here. Before I do that, the Dynamite review is up on the channel. So is a Raw review from many, many weeks ago. But the most recent one is a AEW Dynamite review where I went over the final stop before Dynamite, or not Dynamite, the pay-per-view that's on Saturday tomorrow, which is World's End. I have both my predictions up for that show and the show that we just did. Watch tonight, or this morning, Dream Queendom. All that stuff is up on the channel. Go look it up there as well. I'm currently also uploading on my WAW Wrestling at WWE 2K23 YouTube channel where I do my own universe mode with the wrestlers from Stardom, New Japan, all that stuff. I have my own G1 Climax. Finally, I'm working on putting those videos up here. We've got Night 2 that's up there already for the first block of Night 1 of Block B, which is Night 2. Round 1, of Block B, which is Night 2. I'll be putting out Night 3 a little bit later on tonight. Stay tuned for that, where we get to round 2 of Block A. Let's get through some news stories here. We got 2 news stories when it comes to Stardom. It's really WWE Stardom related here, these 2 news stories here. One of these is one that I wasn't really kind of waking up for. This is very interesting here. Stardom and WWE. So, Wrestling Observer, who is iffy on their news stories here, but they put out a story about Stardom and New Japan, not New Japan, what's the other damn place called? Stardom and WWE having they're having interest in working with Stardom here. So, or WWE is here. So here's what Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer put out in the newsletter here. He says, He reports that the WWE is also interested in working with in a working relationship with Stardom. However, nothing has been finalized at this time. Says basically that's all there is here about that. One of my friends pointed out the possibility that maybe the reason why Io Sky went back to Japan was to somehow help anchor a deal. For Stardom and New Japan Pro Wrestling, not New Japan Pro Wrestling, Stardom and WWE to work together. Last time, I mean, to be fair, they did at one point have somewhat of working relationship with WWE that did Stardom back in 2019, I believe, 2018, when Toni Storm was the NXT UK Women's Champion, and Toni Storm was technically not signed to WWE, but she was still competing over in Stardom because I believe she was still under contract at the time for them. And WWE, mainly Triple H, because I know Vince McMahon would never allow this, but WWE let her finish out her stuff with Stardom, because the whole falling out with that was, and this was on I think this is all a Vince McMahon call here, was that Stardom had put together a match. At the time, Bea Priestley, the current WWE fans know her as Blair Davenport, but she was Bea Priestley prior to signing to WWE. She was under contract with AEW at the time, but she was also the World of Stardom champion, right? So it was the NXT UK Women's Champion versus the World of Stardom Champion. Now, WWE didn't have an issue with that being the match, right? He didn't have an issue. Bea Priestley was reportedly going to go over in that match. WWE didn't have a problem with that because they're each other's talent. That's fine. What WWE had a problem with was not the match itself, like, or who was going over or whatever in that match. That WWE had an issue with Stardom putting it out as WWE versus AEW. And when they saw that, then they're like, well, nah, we can't have a WWE talent, a WWE champion who's to an AEW contracted wrestler. Because I don't even know, I'm not even sure if WWE were aware that Bea Priestley was signed to AEW at that time. But that was like the small time that they had a working agreement with. And I feel like they could have still had one if they do. Here's an interesting thing too that a lot of people aren't talking about, which is actually very interesting because I know Triple H loves his tournaments, right? There's a good chance WWE will bring back the Mae Young Classic. They can actually do the Mae Young Classic now that Vince McMahon is not in charge. And you know what? I can see if they do a working relationship with WWE, I can absolutely see them bringing in one or two talents. I can see an Azumi or a let's look at this insane, because right now Stardom has an insane roster, by the way. Right? Like the amount of talent that's on this roster is insane. So let's say they do a Mae Young Classic here, and I'll get to all the Dream Queendom stuff in a little bit here. But let's say they do a working relationship, right? And they want to do another Mae Young Classic, right? I love the Mae Young Classic. I love the last one they had. I still think Io Shirai should have won it. But I loved that one. I loved the 2018 one with Kairi beating Shayna. That was pretty cool. Even though I don't like Tessa Blanchard, I thought her and Kairi had one of the better matches of the tournament. The 2018 one, I think Toni Storm and Meiko Satomura tore the house down in the semifinals. But you guys could, I wish you guys would go watch that match. Also go watch the match Tony did with Hiroyo Matsumoto, Lady Destroyer. That was a great match too. Io Shirai had some great matches in that tournament too with Rhea Ripley, which is funny now when you think about it. The two people in the semifinals in that year's Mae Young Classic are the two top. Excuse me. Woo. Don't know what happened there. As I was saying, the two top women on the roster right now is Io and Rhea, which is fucking hilarious to me. Anyways, but let's say they want to do another Mae Young Classic, right? And this supposed idea of a working relationship with Stardom comes together because WWE, if they want to bring in talent from Japan, they can bring in Maika Sanomura. They technically already have a working relationship with one Joshi promotion, that is Sendai Girls, through Maika Sanomura. That's one right there. If they want to do a partnership with Stardom and they do a Mae Young Classic, there's people from Stardom that would be amazing in this Mae Young Classic. You've got people like I mentioned, Azumi, who would be an amazing talent to have in the Mae Young Classic. Giulia, who from everything that I've heard, is not re-signing with Stardom when her contract is up in February, or not February, March. And all signs, which we'll talk about, her likely going to WWE next year is all but set in stone. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. You can bring in Hazuki to do the Diamonds at the 5-star. They do the Mae Young Classic. They can bring in Konami. Konami is somebody who I was in my predictions of 2023 that she'd leave Stardom and go to WWE. She still might end up just there to do something like this. This could, imagine Konami appear, being around Asuka again, her mentor, her trainer. They can bring in Maika, the current world champion in Stardom. They could bring in Mayu Iwatani, somebody who I assumed and I thought, right? So when I thought they were going to do another Mae Young Classic this year, Mayu Iwatani was somebody I kind of figured they would try to get on the board to do that. She probably would have just not sign with them because Kota Ibushi didn't sign with WWE, right? But they still let him do the tournament. So there's one right there, Mina Shirakawa, who I think 2024 we may see a Stardom without Mina Shirakawa in 2024. Got Mirai, who could possibly just, I don't want to see that, unfortunately. You could see Momo Watanabe. She could be someone that comes over to do something for that. Natsupoi, whenever she comes back from her cervical hernia issue, that stuff there. You could bring in Rina, a young lion, as you want to call it here, who is current featured Stardom champion. You could bring Saki Kashima to do some comedy stuff. That'd be great stuff. Saori Anou, the current Wonder of Stardom champion. She'd fit right in there with all that stuff there. You get Saida. She can do something there too. Saya Kamitani. She could come in to do the Mae Young Classic. Starlight Kid, Suzu Suzuki, Shuri, Tam Nakano, Thekla, Utami is one I could absolutely see them trying to not poach the sign, but getting to do something with them. All that stuff here. So, it's not out of the realm of possibility. If they want to do a Mae Young Classic, there's plenty of talent from Stardom they can bring in to do that tournament. Or just to do something, in general, right? So, it's very interesting. We'll see what happens here with the stuff there. So let's talk about Giulia here. Giulia, I mentioned her a little bit here, just a few minutes ago. Giulia, at this point in time, is all but confirmed to be leaving Stardom when her contract expires. Wrestling Observer newsletter pointed out that Giulia is leaning toward going to WWE in 2024. Her contract expires in March, and she wouldn't come right away, but WWE is seen as the current favorite for her to sign right now. And I was told by one of my sources that Giulia is not renewing her contract with Stardom at the end of the year. She's ready. She's the way she came off on that show last night. Her entrance and stuff like that gave off the vibe of it's my last show. It's my last Dream Queendom here. So that's what I think is going to happen there. All right, let's get into the show here. A show that I thought was pretty good, bar the technical difficulties at the end of the show, near the end of the show, with the damn feed cutting off here, which I had to watch the full main event in full on their YouTube channel, because they did put up Saori Anou versus MIRAI and Maika and Suzu Suzuki up on their YouTube channel for free in their full, which was good on them, because not being able to see Maika's crowning moment due to the fucking venue and their internet issues was bullshit. That's just there. We had a pre-show match here. We had Miyu Yamazaki, aka Kevin. He teamed with the Yuzuki and Ayuzuya. They defeated the team of Hanako, Kurara, Sayaka, and Rana Yamagumi. 6-woman tag match. This was, your typical fast-paced type of, you know how WCW would do their usual, start of the show, so pay-per-views with cruiserweight action. This is what this felt like to me. 7 minutes, great action here, just to get the 5 youngsters, rookies on the show, get them a little exposure there while Kevin's there. Maybe, she's probably, one of these ladies is already been recruited to. Hanako, I believe, is. I think I could be wrong on her. I think Hanako is already with. No, she's unaffiliated, so she's not with a group right now. But I said Azumi. But Miyu is part of Queen's Quest, and I feel like Utami had put Miyu with these two, Ayuza and Yuzuki, as recruitment. So I think Yuzuki has been put into put into Queen's Quest. One of these Yamagami, I think Yamagami, I believe she may be getting poached by the new world champion to join whatever they're going to do with her. And because the turmoil with Donna Del Mondo is going to be very interesting going into 2024, and I'll get to that when we get to the main event. But yeah, I enjoyed this match. A lot of fun. I'll give this match a solid 5. So if actually I do my things 5 out of 5 instead of when it comes to match quality, I do things I don't do things out of 10. I think I do more things 5 out of 5, because that's how I do things. So I'm gonna give this one a nice 3.5. 3.5 out of 4 out of 5. Nice fast pace there to start off the show here. Then go into the main card here. God's Eye, Ami Sourei and Saki Kashima defeated the teams of Lady C and Hina from Queen's Quest, again, who had her birthday this week. Maika Mai Sakurai and Thekla of Donna Del Mondo, and Yuna Minazori and Saki from Cosmic Angels. This was 7 minutes and 25 seconds. One of the predictions I got wrong here, I said Donna Del Mondo was going to get this clean sweep all night. I was 3 for 2. I was 2 for 3 on the show, but I always love seeing Ami Sourei. Saki Kashima, love seeing her back. I'm super happy she's all right. I don't know what her injury was. I know she came back on one of the house shows, but I love Kashima. She's actually a really good wrestler, but her gimmick is that she's lazy. She is the Orange Cassidy of Stardom. That's the analogy I was trying to come up with for her a few months ago. She's basically Stardom's version of Orange Cassidy, and has the Kishi Kaise finish, which I think she's the one who won the match for her team. I'd have to go back and rewatch that part, the finish to that, because I missed finish. But I know, based on the results, that God's Eye won here. So God's Eye was not having a very good night. God's Eye was having the opposite night that Donna Del Mondo had. So God's Eye was like 1 and 2, right? 1 out of 3. While Donna Del Mondo was 2 out of 3, which is just funny here. So, but yeah, nice to see Hina and Lady C here, which I think, I love Hina. I love Lady C. They're good stuff. Thekla is great at what she does here. So she might have a big role to play alongside Mai Sakurai when it comes to what they're going to do with Maika going forward, and I'll talk about that when we get to that. So yeah. Before that, I want to point out there's something I did want to talk about before, because I kind of screwed that up here. After the pre-show match, Tam Nakano came out because she was announced to be on the show. She basically was saying, apologize for having to step away. I think it was, I almost had a neck injury. She had a knee injury. It was bad enough that they, stripped her of the championship, which is how we got to the main event that we got, which I'm not complaining about, because I still think, to me, I still think regardless of her getting injured, I always believed, regardless of what Dave Meltzer says about who was winning the 5-star Grand Prix, I always believed the finals of the 5-star Grand Prix was going to be Maika and Suzu Suzuki, and they're going to run it back again at Dream Queendom. Except the difference I had here was Suzu was going to be the champion, because I assumed, I always believed Suzu was going to beat Tam at Golden Fight. I think, or was it Gold Rush? I believe it was Gold Rush. And then that didn't end up happening because the Tam match was called off. So there's that. But Tam came out and basically said, I'm not really going anywhere. Although excuse me. But they made it sound like that she was leaving, like getting retired, because there was no English subtitles, anything. I had to wait until after the promo from Twitter to find out what the fuck she said, because I don't speak Japanese. It would be nice to actually speak Japanese so I can know what the fuck she's talking about. But it came up, but the way it came off to people who don't speak the language made it seem like it was a retirement. Again, that's 2024. Stardom has to invest in English commentary for their big pay-per-view shows and English subtitles for their shows if they want to. I mean, come on now. If you don't want to do that for their pay-per-views, just do the English commentary. Like, I come to find out the show on the 4th is going to have English commentary. I'm like, if it's not Chris Charlton and Walker Stewart from New Japan, I don't give a shit. I have no interest in seeing Sonny be fucking lazy on the commentary booth. I remember watching the Dream Queendom stuff here. The people who did the most talking through that match was Chris Charlton and MIRAI May. He sat on his ass for most of that match there. Get somebody who actually wants to talk during the match. You're a play-by-play guy, not a fucking color commentator. Chris Charlton was basically the fucking play-by-play and the color commentator during that show. So, but enough of that there. But my point is, she said she's coming back. She doesn't know when. She'll be at her hometown on January 8th. I don't know. There's maybe I think there's a show that day. She's gonna make some type of announcement. Maybe announce the return of her possibly being end of March, beginning of April. A lot of people are shooting for All-Star. Though I do agree with the Stardom cast that I do think they're going to probably do Aphrodite versus Melt here for the tag titles. If not for the tag titles, just for a match here. And I agree with Scotty Wrestling. He says, I do not want to see Tam Nakano come back and then immediately insert herself into the title picture. We don't need that. We do not need to go through that again. Okay? We don't need to go through that again. Anyway. Back to the rest of the show here. Stars defeated Oedo Tai. 10 minutes and 55 seconds. This was a lot of fun here. Fukinji Death was the most over person of this match, and this includes people who are so over, like Hazuki, Starlight Kid, and Mayu Iwatani. So, but I was jokingly saying before Fukushima got tagged in, and I said, if Oedo Tai loses this match, Fukushima Death is going to be the one taking the pin, and that's exactly what happened here. Moonsault to Fukushima Death for the win. 1, 2, 3. Again, a lot of fun here. This doesn't establish anything. However, it was noted, I believe it was noted in a backstage interview that Starlight Kid wants to challenge Mayu Iwatani for the IWGP Women's Championship. And I heard that, I'm like, my ears perked up. I'm like, take my money, please. I don't know when they want to do that match, but do it. I would love to see it. But yeah, this was a lot of fun here. Nothing else to talk about here. Hazuki hopefully has a better 2024. And I'm predicting she will win one of the titles next year. Dare I say, may win either the Cinderella or the 5-star. I'm probably going to stick with the Cinderella because I do not trust this Rossi Ogawa to give us what we want next year, because we basically forced his hand to give us what the fans deserve, and that was what we got in the main event there. So, match that kind of irritated me a little bit here, for the wrong reasons. We had 7-Up and Azumi defeat Shuri and Mina Shirakawa and May Saray in a 6-woman tag match. By the way, the other match, 3.5. I'll give that one the same one there as I did the last two matches. Yeah. I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give this one a 2. I didn't like this match. Some of my issues here was, obviously, you guys know my disdain for 7-Up, the whole group. I do not want to see them on my wrestling programs ever again. I don't want to see them on my Stardom programs ever again, because they are fucking terrible. Nonane is a selfish prick. in my opinion. They wouldn't even allow Azumi to come out to her own banger music. She's out here no-selling for Shuri, Mina Shirakawa, and all this stuff here. And not only that, she doesn't allow Azumi to want to get the pin on her for her team. Now, if they were going to set up Azumi versus Mai Sarai for the high-speed championship at All-Star, wouldn't it be a great fucking idea to have her pin May? I'm just saying. But yeah, this kind of pissed me off kind of a lot here. A lot of start and stop pushes happened because of this woman, I feel like, because it just feels like she doesn't care. Like in this match, it seemed like she just didn't care. Like, I don't know, it's just something about her just irks me the wrong way, right? You know, the whole thing with Lady Acted, fucking, that's the, I mean, people told me to get over it. I'm like, you can go fuck yourself, first of all. I'll get over that when you guys start getting over what happened at Brawl Out. Until then, shut the fuck up. It's my show. I will bitch and moan about whatever the fuck I want to on this podcast. Now, though what does this do for Shuri, Mina Shirakawa, and May? Not a fucking thing. Because, once again, Mina Shirakawa is getting the short end of the stick. This woman, she's had a shitty year for 2024. I think Club Venus was a terrible idea from bad creative. There's no way that you can sit here and tell me this was a Mina Shirakawa idea. Because if it was, it's fucking stupid. Because since the creation of this group, she's fallen way down the rabbit hole here. They had her, the injury happened. It wasn't really her fault. Well, it was both Saya and Mina's fault. They were both out of fucking place. So there's that. But then she comes back. They give her the title, the white belt, right? And then they had the stupid idea to say, hey, let's do a title for title match. Because that's what the Stardom fans wanted to see. Nope. Because they gave her the title, then not even 49 days later, they have her drop it after one title defense to Tam Nakano, who then dropped it to Mirai, and then we got the three unnecessary title runs when you really think about it. So you mean to tell me that during that title run, that whole thing with the white belt, they could have still put it just on Hazuki. We could have went through a year with Hazuki as the white belt champion. No, we can't have nice things because Rossi Ogawa has to be a fucking idiot sometimes. Then we get to the Halloween show, right? Well, first of all, she seemed to have some type of great showing in the 5-star. We thought, well, this could be it here. And then she loses to Saori Anou, which is hilarious. Saori Anou is great, by the way. So then we get into the Halloween show, right? Her and Natsuko Waka Tukiyama, they then get buried by two people way past their prime, two people who don't have working legs anymore or knees, no soul for any of them, and squash them like a bug. And then that was kind of it for Waka, if I'm being completely honest here. And at that point, you know, they put Mina in the little mini four person tournament for who was going to face Suzu at Dream Queendom. She lost to Oedo Tai from Oedo Tai's antics. And normally Oedo Tai's antics doesn't actually help get them the win. But here it did. And from there it just kept going downhill, and then it ended here with another loss. Pinfall loss to the fucking soda can. You couldn't even let Osby get. I'm not even mad that Mina took the pin here. My issue here is that it was Nanane instead of Osby who was the one who was allowed to get the pin. Correct me if I'm wrong, Osby's the one under contract with this company, not Nanane, who shows up for a fucking paycheck every now and then. Fuck your passion matches, okay? No one gives a shit about them. They're not good. Okay? They're terrible. Go fuck off somewhere else on there. Leave Azumi alone. You could have had a 4-way match for the high-speed title here if you wanted to. There are so many other things you could have done with Shuri, Mina, May, and Azumi on the show. You did not need to put this in a meaningless 6-woman tag that did nothing for anybody. This is my anger now. I'm gonna give this a 1. A 1 out of 5. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Ugh. All right. Let's go on to things I actually enjoyed on this show. The main things I enjoyed on the show. One of these things being that incredible tag team title match for the Goddess of Stardom tag team titles. Aphrodite, Utami Hayashishita Saya Kamitani defending the titles against Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe XL. This is a much better title performance for Natsuko here because I don't know what the fuck was going on with her in that match with Tam back at whatever show it was, Golden Fight, whatever the fuck show that was. Momo was always on point. The match starts here. What I loved about this match was the match starts, and I made the joke that Momo was watching Sabu matches before this leading up to this show because Saya was getting ready to do a springboard splash off the top rope to the floor. Before that she even flies, Momo takes the damn suitcase thing that you see Ruka carrying around here. Momo launched the fucking shit out of that thing right into the face, and it was fucking, it was funny as hell. I laughed my ass off at that. But there were so many times I thought Natsuko and Momo was gonna win this match here. The one takeaway from this match I would give is the obvious referee botch spot. This was all on the referee. Well, this referee and Saya botched this spot here, which was they did the green mist spot, which didn't see that coming from Momo, and then they did a double team move here where I thought for sure Oedo Tai were gonna win the tag titles. Now the referee's counting 1, 2, but then he stops, and I'm like, what are you stopping for? Because clearly Saya did not break up the pin in time like she was supposed to. And that's when and then that's when I'm like, well, you need to see WWE, and I hate when I have to compare things to WWE, but when WWE trains their referees as telling them count the matches as if it was a shoot. Right? For example, The Undertaker's streak that ended. The referee in the match did not know that The Undertaker was losing. So he counted the 3, thought he made a mistake, thought he fucked up or something, he was going to lose his job. No. Brock was going to win the match. Brock was scheduled to win the match. Again, that's what you got to do here. Don't stop because you have a miscue. If an audible has to be called, call the audible. And that is it. That's the only downside about this match I had here. But the match ends here with both Saya and Utami hitting their finishers. I think it's the same pair of finishers. I believe they both hit the torture rack bomb on Natsuko and Momo, and they both were allowed to get the pin here. Apparently Momo Watanabe, from my understanding, Saya Kamitani was not the legal person in this match. Somebody was, I don't remember who the actual legal person who got the pinfall was, but I did find out that Momo Watanabe was not the legal woman in the match that got the pin, that was pinned. So there's a little, I mean, I don't know if Stardom will play off of that, but who knows. But yeah, this match obviously gets a 4 out of 5 here. This was my second favorite match of the night. Maybe my third favorite match of the night. Depending on how I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna rank these matches at the end of the review here. But I loved this match. Outside of the botchy referee spot after the green mist, everything else about this was fantastic. So it gets a 4 out of 5 match rating out of me here. Does Aphrodite and XL for the Tactiles. Next up, we got Megan Bayne and her breakout performance against Giulia for the Strong Women's Championship. Giulia retained after a referee stoppage. This was absolutely incredible. And this was Megan Bayne's best performance I've ever seen. And I've seen some good performances from Megan Bayne, who I've become a fan of. Because I was one of those people that said, "Who is this? Why should I care about her?" Because I didn't like her. I did not like her match with Tam Nakano. I've made that vocally clear. Didn't really care for her match with Tam Nakano. However, she started growing on me. Her stuff with Maika, Divine Kingdom, was great stuff. I enjoyed that. Her match with the Divine Kingdom match with Aphrodite was awesome stuff. But here with Giulia, a lot of people say this is Giulia's best defense of the title, and I would have to agree here. This is great. And we got a small glimpse here of what Giulia in WWE will look like, because Giulia didn't play her or didn't perform her usual style, if you noticed, because she also tried to cater to how big Megan Bayne was. So Giulia also was the first person in Stardom to kick out the F5, which was pretty cool. So only a handful of people have ever actually kicked out of the F5. And I'm talking including when it comes to Brock Lesnar's F5. So, but Giulia won the match by referee stoppage. Of course, again, which I thought this was going to be the end of Megan Bayne in Stardom. I think she has maybe 1 or 2 matches left in Stardom. I know she is booked for not the New Year's Stars show, but is she booked on that show? She's not booked on the show. Yeah, she's not booked on that show, but she is booked on the Stardom Gate show. She will be teaming with maybe Maika to take on Suzu, and Giulia will talk about why that is somewhat important here. Just a little bit here. Oh, and back to that other match that pissed me off too. Saori is getting a title match next weekend, next Thursday. So that kind of pissed me off as well. But that was just me anyways. But this gets a 4 out of 5. This is actually my second favorite match of the night. My third favorite match of the night is the tag title match. This is my second favorite match of the night. This was a lot of fun here. 4 out of 5. Easily a match you should go back and watch from the show here if you did order this show on pay-per-view. Saori Anou defeated MIRAI for the Wonder of Stardom Championship, 24 minutes and 43 seconds. This was not as good as their first match, if I'm being 100% honest here. I will be honest here. The final few stretches of the matches were fine. This match was fine. But the rest of it was kind of boring, if I'm being completely honest here. But, you know, outside of that, I have nothing else to talk. Like, this match was there. Like, if you gave me the match they had a few months ago at at Gold Rush, right? Take away the time limit draw, and then the title change there, I may have a different opinion on this match, but I don't, because I still think their match at Gold Rush was better than this match. But the right outcome for me came out of this match, which was MIRAI losing the fucking title. That's all. That's the only thing I want. I didn't even care how good or bad the match was. My only concern was Anou walking away with the title, and that's what's happening. Or that's what happened. They didn't botch the roll up spot that Saori Anou likes to do, which they did in the first match, but the time didn't botch that. It didn't get the win here, but Saori Anou got the win here with her Tiger Suplex bridge for the win, and you got your new Wonder of Stardom champion. Obviously, Tam Nakano and Natsuko were out there. I said, well, I'm not holding my breath with the MIRAI matches, but then I saw that, you know, Natsuko was out there, and they kind of teased, and they may I think they've set up the next person to take the title off of Saori Anou, which I'm perfectly fine with, that being Natsuko, because Natsuko, I don't know how far she is in her recovery, but they did make it seem like it's going to be Natsuko being the one to take the title off of Saori Anou. Sorry if my nose feels like it's being plugged back up here. I'm going to have to blow, but I'm going to have to fix that after the review here. I ain't worried about it right now, because we're getting close to the main event here. So, speaking of the main event here, well, I'm going to give this match here a 3. Mainly because of Saori Anou winning the title here. So, there is that. Main event time, Maika, Suzu Suzuki for the World of Stardom Championship. This is where I was excited and both anxious at the same time. I tweeted out that this match is going to cause me to start drinking, and the match hasn't even started yet, and I don't drink. 3 minutes into the match, Carrigan Hall was like, nope. We're going to cut the feed. Because they had internet issues, so a lot of people who bought the pay-per-view they pulled the plug on it, because the internet apparently sucks there. And I said, well, fuck. So me, I'm trying to find ways to watch it. Thankfully, I found somebody helped me out to get the remainder of the match, and I missed like all 20 minutes of the match outside the finish here. So I had to go back to watch the full match on YouTube, because they put it on YouTube after the whole debacle with the pay-per-view feed here. Stardom had their Halloween Havoc 98 moment. Which, it's funny enough, same thing happened there. 3 minutes into the match for DDP and Goldberg, the pay-per-view feed cut out because they ran over time. I doubt that they ran over time here, because they, I believe they've had 4 or 5 hour pay-per-view. I believe All-Star was 5 hours long, earlier this year. I could be wrong. Who knows? Anyway. But we have the match here. Maika, over as fuck as she is. Maika came out. Crowd was so happy to see their empress make her way to the ring here, because they know what was up. It was time for her to have become the empress once again. Bring the era of the empress to begin. That's what they wanted. They didn't give really too much of a shit about Suzu Suzuki here. So back and forth, this match was happening here. They immediately went on to the outside here, throwing each other into the chairs here. Maika set up a table on the outside here. Or not Maika, Suzu rather set up a table on the outside. Maika was looking to suplex, or German suplex, Maika through the table. Didn't work out. Maika then was attempting to powerbomb Suzu through it. That didn't happen. Instead, got Hurricane Rana to halfway through the table. The table still broke, which is amazing, but it did. I was talking about the build up to this match here, and I remember this during the 5-star. Maika not at once hit the Maika driver during the 5-star match or any of the time that they wrestled each other. This show in particular is the first time that they've actually had her hit the Maika driver. Not once, but not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. The last 3 times were the emphatic statement that you know, she's here. So there's a lot of that stuff there going on here. Suzu tried multiple times to go for that Phoenix Splash looking thing that she did to win the 5-star. I couldn't recall if she actually hit the move or not. But she was able to hit the tequila shot, and Maika kicked out, which stunned Suzu to the point where it's like, what do I got to do to put this woman away? Because these two hate each other. And Maika's like, I've had enough of your bullshit. She gets... By the way, there was the first Maika driver was absolutely incredible because, like, Suzu was setting up for something here. She bounced off the ropes there. I think she's getting ready to hit maybe a penalty kick, maybe a Shining Wizard or something. Suzu reverses and hits a fucking nasty Maika driver. Only gets a 2 count there. She has her final 3 Maika drivers. The third one she had up, or the fourth one she had up for a long period of time, just to stick it to her. Boom, in the middle of the ring. 1, 2, 3. Maika is your new World of Stardom champion, and it's beautiful thing, man. Beautiful stuff. After the match, they get out of the microphone. Well, Maika basically says, basically it's like, at this point, taunting. Seems like taunting. Either she asked for one more match with Suzu or something. I don't know if I actually have the actual. I'm gonna go to HD subs because I don't remember if HD had anything up here. Look, give me a second. Okay, no, he does not. I thought he would, but apparently not. So, so there's that. The interesting part about this was Giulia walked out of the arena with Suzu, not Maika, and Maika may have had this look on her face like, "Oh, so you're gonna play like that, huh?" A kind of issue here. Maika basically thanked her fans for being with her throughout this entire journey here, basically, and so but there it is. Maika is the new World of Stardom Champion. She calls out Giulia, Utami, Saya, Tam, Mina Shirakawa, Sherry, basically everybody. She calls out everybody. She is making that list. This is going to be a generational run, hopefully. My hope is they don't fuck this up like they did Giulia's reign, because Giulia's reign ended prematurely just so they could strap the rocket to Tam, who I still don't think was ever ready for that title. And at that point, based on how everything went out, that proved to be true. Suzu Suzuki is still not ready for that title. She will get there. It is Maika's time. We are going to see where this heads to All-Star and the future for the World of Stardom Championship. But yeah, what a way to cap off 2023 for Maika. She started the year off somewhat rocky. Had Himeka's final match ever, like official match, like real match, beating her to retire her. Then she went on this badass run of saying, like, motherfucker, I'm here. It's my year. She had the incredible run in the 5-star Grand Prix, coming up short to Maika Suzu. Had that great run in the with Mega Bayne in Divine Kingdom for the Goddess stuff here. Had that great match with Aphrodite for the tag titles, and had this great match here, which is my favorite match of the night. 4 out of 5 here for this match particularly. Maika, closing moments of Maika with the title, crowd chanting her name. You know, she deserves it. The hardship that she's went through, like, just like she's come a long way, and it's about time that she is rewarded for her being rewarded for her efforts here. It's great to see that. We go to the back here. She's commenting about something, and I didn't see this coming. This caught me off my fucking left guard. Was Himeka. She comes in the frame, congratulating Maika. They hug, they cry, congratulating her. It was a nice moment to see close out 2023 for Stardom the right way. So out of my predictions, and my bold prediction for the Goddess title match was not going to happen, but that's why it's called a bold ass prediction. But 3 years in a row, and I tweeted this out, 3 years in a row, a clean sweep for Donna Del Mondo. 2021 with Shuri beating Utami. 2022 with Giulia beating Shuri, and then this year with Maika beating Suzu to win the championship. What a year it has been for Maika. I know it's really hard. You shouldn't really say injuries are good, but had these injuries not happened, I don't know if we'd be sitting here talking about Maika as the world champion at the end of the year, going into 2024. But those are my thoughts on this show. I think the show is I'll give it a 4 out of 5. Those last 3 matches. Okay, those last 4 matches, but but 3 of those were absolute bangers. You know, but all in all, I enjoyed the show. I just wish they would have tested out the internet feed or something here, because that was some bullshit that happened to everybody who paid for the pay-per-view. But hopefully that doesn't happen for future shows. So I don't know if I'm gonna do Stardom Gate yet. I'll let you guys know how I feel when it comes to that here. I will be doing Wrestle Kingdom, though. That is something that is happening, because that is next week. Is big week for New Japan fans. That is their WrestleMania. This was the Joshi fans WrestleMania. So there's that. I will see you guys back here tomorrow for AEW's Worlds End pay-per-view event. Hopefully my nose isn't all stuffed up again. I don't know why it's stuffed up right now, but it is. I thought it was getting better. Maybe I'm not. Who knows? But until then, I'll see you for World's End. We're out.